Welcome back to the Season 1 Premier League WCS Europe Finals. It has been, an amazing couple of games already in the quarterfinals. We've seen Hellbat City from MVP as he picked up a 3-0 win in his first quarterfinal, his only quarterfinal match, obviously. And earlier on, we saw an epic game between Dimaga and Happy. So Dimaga versus MVP is our first semi-final. And next up, we'll be able to work out who's playing who in the bottom half of the draw. LucifroN versus ForGG is next, the all-Terran battle. And then it's last year's European champion Stefano going head-to-head with the man that beat him in the previous round. It is Last Protoss and the legend killer, Baby Knight. That'll be our final game of today. Don't forget as well, tomorrow we have the 5th place decider placement final match, as it were. 2 semi-finals and a final for that one to decide which is the 5th player who will go off to Korea alongside the 4 winners of the quarterfinals. So it's time for game number 3. This one could be an epic. And let's start off by introducing you to the 2 players. First up, from Spain, it's LucifroN.
Hello, my name is Pedro Moreno Duran. I play Terran for Team Caronte. I wouldn't say I'm the best, but I would say I'm amongst the best. My playing style, I think, is focused a lot on trying to punish my opponent for any single risk he takes by being aggressive or by being greedy, whatever. So I like to study a lot my opponents. And then just once I'm ahead, trying to don't suicide, which I did a lot in the past.
Nurcio looking down and out here in the first round. GG, well played. And LucifroN marches on forwards here.
Well, I watch a lot tournaments, so I'm more or less familiar with everyone's style. So when I'm going to play against him, I kind of know what to expect. For me, it's easier to play people I already know. But when I play someone who I don't know what to expect, I feel a bit worried. The players I wanted to avoid were ForGG, Happy and Vortex. None of them were in my group, so that was good for me. For me personally, it could have been worse if I had other players. So it was a hard group, but I wasn't that scared about it.
And his supply block just trying to push in here. MVP, this is pretty much one last-ditch effort to try and break this. Even the siege tanks aren't actually backing these Hellbats up. They all disintegrate under that firepower of the siege tanks. And LucifroN now with a massive army split. GG!
After beating MVP, I was really happy actually, because of course he's MVP, he's won 4 or 5 ESLs, so yeah, it feels great.
He's EU Hero Terran and #1 maybe now?
#1.
I value a lot opinion of people who are more accomplished than me. So yes, someone like MC saying that is, of course, feels great. Well, my goal is winning, of course. Like, I know that when I lose, even if it's in the grand finals, I will be disappointed with myself at that moment. So yeah, I just want to win.
So, as you saw, LucifroN, possibly the best Terran, says MC. He's got a big job ahead of him. He goes up against a man who has a 94% win rate in TVT. This is ForGG.
My name is Jisoo Park and my ID is ForGG. My from is South Korea. I play WCS Europe because I prefer Europe, and my team is a French team, so I'm living in France. Europe, very, very good for me. I miss and my dog, family, sister, Korean food, friend, yeah, I miss. I think Korean is best, but Europe player is not bad, very strong. When I coming in tournament, I think about only #1, but #2 is not bad. I think Tiero is very good Jug player and very difficult style. So when I play first game, I'm so much nervous, so so many misplays, so I lose. I was not afraid Strelo because Terran is very easy for me.
The Banshee's coming along as well. The Vikings get landed. He needs anti-air along with this. The Hellions alone are able to run over a lot of what Straylock has. ForGG just wins. He's just like, yeah, I'm playing Terran vs. Terran, I don't lose games.
This MVP is good player, but no problem, Terran. My minimum is, of course, #1. I'm always think about #1, yes. My fan worry about greedy beer. Don't worry, I always remember and I don't more die about cheese. Don't worry, my friends.
So, there is ForGG and LucifroN. I think we know enough about them now to know that this game is going to be a big one. Let's take a look at their route to the quarterfinals through WCS Europe this year. And as you can see, with a perfect record, the only man left in the competition with an 8-0 record, LucifroN 2-0 against Happy, Bly, Nurcio and MVP. That's a real run of top players beaten down by the Spaniard. Likewise on the other side, a little bit more of a complicated run to the quarterfinals for the South Korean. 2-0 against Bunny twice, a 2-1 versus his compatriot MMA in the round of 16, and then that big win against Strelok, pulling him through to this place right now. The quarterfinals as they match up. It's LucifroN versus ForGG. It could be the biggest TVT game of the year so far. It's time to go over to our commentary team. It's Apollo and Kalaris.
Thanks very much, Red Eye. He's not lying when he says that this is going to be a big one. This is a TVT for the ages, guys.
There's 3 Terrans in Europe which rule everything. ForGG, LucifroN, and Happy. Happy's been knocked down.
Yep.
There's 2 left, and now we're going to find out who's moving on between these 2 players. It is the title for the best Terran in Europe right now.
It really is. ForGG here, he's been looking formidably strong in this matchup, and we'll get into those numbers a little bit later on. But now ForGG and LucifroN doing their map vetoes. LucifroN here currently with a perfect record in the tournament. If he were able to somehow, some way take a 3-0 here over ForGG, he's just the favorite to win everything. He would be looking absolutely insane.
Yeah, he actually wins the tournament if he 3-0s ForGG.
Yeah.
But that's not going to happen. He will lose his first map in this series. ForGG is incredible. The best part about this Terran versus Terran coming up, it is 2 of the highest skilled players, but more importantly, 2 of the most aggressive players.
Yeah.
LucifroN talked about how that he doesn't like to let anybody play greedy against him, and he will punish you. On the other hand, ForGG is known since the beginning of time to be that aggressive man.
LucifroN and ForGG here now. We have Daybreak being banned to kick things off, and then Start Station goes from that point on. LucifroN decides to just leave.
He's like, I'm done.
I'm done, I don't care.
It's okay. So, Star Station, I mean, we're going to have a couple of minutes here, of course, while he disappears. Star Station coming down, I'm not sure if they're actually, maybe they've already done it. I don't know, that was really fast, because he's like, all right, I guess, maybe LucifroN was like, you know, Kalaris, I mean, well, he wouldn't say Kalaris, would he?
Yeah.
He wouldn't say Apollo either.
No.
He would go, you know what, ForGG? You pick the 3 maps, or the 5 maps, you pick them. I don't care. As ForGG flashes a little bit for us there, teasing you guys at home.
I really want to know if that's actually the case. But anyway, guys, we shall send it over to interviews to see exactly what these 2 players think about their opponent going into this quarterfinal.
During the draw, were you happy that you've got ForGG in the first round?
No, like I wanted to avoid TBT and especially ForGG, so for me it was the worst case scenario.
So ForGG claims to be very happy with the TVT. He claims to have a very good TVT. Is there a reason to be, extra afraid of that?
Yeah, well, in ladder he's the best performer in TVT, so you could say he has the best TVT from the players in Europe. So of course he's happy about it. Not afraid, but I must play like my best if I want to win him.
Did you make any special preparations for him? Any special build orders just for him? What's going to be the key in this game?
Not really, like mostly I will play standard, I think. So the key will be just not making mistakes and focus all the time on not doing big mistakes, because against ForGG, 1 mistake and you are dead. So yeah, I will have to focus and just play my best.
All the players here, or most of them at least, claim that you are one of the very, very best players here, probably a contender for the title. How do you feel about it, and does that add extra pressure to you?
Well, it doesn't add pressure to me, and well, I guess I'm happy about it, that they say that I'm that good. And well, I don't know, it's not too important for me when I think about the tournament, what players, like the level they think I have, like it won't affect my gameplay or anything.
ForGG, how did you train for this match?
I play some Korea player and little custom game and many time in ladder.
Are you happy that LucifroN is your opponent?
Yes, I'm very happy because I think LucifroN is very good Terran player. So I'm very happy my opponent is LucifroN.
LucifroN beat MVP 2-0.
Yes.
Is that impressive?
No, I have many time game in ladder LucifroN, so he's very good. So I think I know he beat MVP.
Do you have a score prediction for this game?
I will 3-0.
Do you have anything to say to the fans who will be watching?
LucifroN and me enjoy watching TVT. I will show you high level TVT.
All right, so that was very telling there. ForGG clearly respects his opponent, but at the same time, he's very confident in his abilities. 3-0.
I can't believe the contrast between the question and answers that they were both, put across with.
Yeah.
LucifroN was like, I'm not happy I have to play him. On the other hand, ForGG's like, yes, I'm actually kind of happy. And that tells a lot. ForGG, with his win percentage, 94% in Terran versus Terran over a span of roughly 50 games. That is incredible. It's unheard of.
And actually, just to kind of go even deeper into those numbers, it's 94% across the 48 wins and 3 losses he's had. ForGG, in series that are not best of 1, is 100% win ratio against Terrans. So a best of 3, best of 5, anything like that.
He's never lost.
He never has lost in Heart of the Swarm.
Well, there's probably a reason why LucifroN said he wasn't happy to play him then, Kalaris, because that is impressive. And it's about to begin here. LucifroN, who hasn't dropped a single map, who beat MVP 2-0 in the previous round, now fights against this monster of a Terran versus Terran play. It's absolutely remarkable how somebody. I mean, let me put this into perspective a little bit. When Flash and Jadon were at their best, they were holding good 70-75% win rates, right? Yeah. That is domination. 80% on that end is you're unbeatable. Yeah. 94%. 94.
It's unprecedented. It's unimaginable, the fact that he can be so confident in this matchup. If there was ever a player to get a matchup as well as anybody across the entirety of the game, it's ForGG and TVT. How do you defeat this man? We're going to have to see if LucifroN can step up to the plate here against him in a best of 5, nothing less.
I mean, LucifroN went into the MVP game probably as the underdog, despite being known as a very good player.
Yeah.
And he's coming into it in a similar way. Because yes, ForGG is good, and likewise is LucifroN, but 94% and 100% in anything above a best of 1.
Yeah.
I can't stress how impressive that actually is here. And we're going to see what exactly ForGG is going to do. I know that his playstyle is very much so focused around Hellions. He loves the Hellions, Kalaris.
He does.
Blue Flame or not, he will build a lot of them in this game, and he will jump on any opportunity. I remember casting his games against Strel. There was times where ForGG looked on the back foot, was defending, and then bam, just straight out the gates, across the map, and just won.
Oh. And the thing is that the first map's going to be Akalon Wastes, a map where we actually saw the very first game of WCS Europe was ForGG versus Bunny, and there was 300 worker kills during that game. So,
yes,
ForGG knows what he's doing on this map, let's be honest.
And he knows how to kill SCVs. That's I think both of these players know how to do that, and we're going to see quite a few SCV deaths in this game, unfortunately. But that's the downside of these two players meeting each other.
It's crazy, crazy how this has occurred. But now, spawning up to the top left here as our Red Terran, currently with a 94% win ratio in TVT in Heart of the Swarm. Give it up for ForGG. Representing Korea and Millennium here, looking to knock out one of the favorites of the European scene in the form of this man, spawning down to the bottom right as our Blue Terran, representing Corante. Give it up for LucifroN. Representing Spain, representing one half of the Spanish Armada. We'll see if he's able to stand up to the test that is ForGG.
That 94%, what's the sample size on it? How many games is it exactly? Wins and losses, who against maybe?
48 wins, 3 losses in maps.
And who against? Do you know who exactly lost to?
The 3 losses were to a Korean player called Bang from MVP, is it? during AC Team Story Cup. Another loss in a best of 3 to someone I can't quite remember, but the last loss was to LucifroN. 1-0 in Acer Team Story Cup. So LucifroN's
Done it before.
He's done it in one game.
He has done it before. All right, so let's have a look at these two builds. LucifroN, I mean, both players are going to open up with a Barracks Gas. That's kind of granted at this point. You can't really go Barracks Command Center anymore in this matchup. Just because of the amount of aggression that will come at you. Widowmine drops, Hellion Marine drops, Hellbat drops, you name it. So I'm expecting ForGG to take a later of a gas, unless he's planned something specific here. On the other hand, though, his opponent did decide to take a gas at about 13 here. And hold on a minute, where is ForGG's gas?
It's not gone down yet.
Is he not? Wow, okay, so he's going for a command center play. And as I was saying, this is not a common build. ForGG will always go, or usually always go, 15 gas, and then for a reactor factory. That's the kind of the bread and butter build in Terran versus Terran. And,
did he? No. Well, not scouting that out is going to be pretty big here. And it's going to be hard to scout it out now because the Marine's out.
And this is, actually, where's that SCV going?
Oh.
Where is he going? Oh, LucifroN! What are you doing? He's proxying a factory.
Is he really going to do this?
So, okay. A second gas is likewise coming down.
Oh.
This is working more in favor than LucifroN had initially hoped.
You know what?
Yes, you say it. Go on, say it. I know you're going to say it. I can see it in your eyes, Claris.
Really
I love looking into your eyes, Claris. What do you want to say to me?
Does he really want to go for a Thor here? Is that something that he really wants to do? The thing is that before this series, I went up to LucifroN and was like, "You got something in store for us, LucifroN?" And he gave me a cheeky little grin and walked away.
Did he wink as well?
I'll go with yes for the sake of storytelling. So, I can't believe he's going to do this. If he is.
There it is.
So, okay, so just to outline this, guys, if you did not see the round of 32, if you did not see that, LucifroN did exactly the same thing against Happy. But now, with ForGG opening up with something that isn't quite as common, how is this going to play out, Apollo?
All right, so let's just look at 4GG's setup here. He did take double gases straight after expanding. So he will have a factory eventually. He will have his tech out at a decent rate, but not as fast as he would have had it if it was 15 gas. So the tools that 4GG is gonna have to deal with this is the same thing he'd usually have. Marines, Hellions, Vikings. He's gonna play defensive because he's the one expanding, of course, naturally here.
Yeah.
But if you compare this to Happy's game, Happy's game, sorry. If you compare this to Happy's game, Happy had all these tools earlier and still couldn't stop it.
Yeah. He's just not going to have enough units. His barracks, right? He has 3 Marines out. 3 Marines. Oh, and he's teching up even further. He's spending all of his money into tech here with the armory and the stop. This is...
All right, so LucifroN just sent his SCV up and he saw this war off.
Yeah.
This war-off now almost confirms that it is an expansion play.
Yep.
So the medivac will probably just go straight into the main base and cause havoc from there. The things that LucifroN's going to rely on to make this work is micro and 100% not losing that medivac. You lose that medivac, the Thor will die to a couple of Marines and SCVs.
He's bringing SCVs with him. He's actually bringing SCVs here. LucifroN is going for it. The Marines are going to poke up at the front. This is going to be close.
Right.
This really
is he going to try and break down the wall here? Is he going to try and ferry everything into the main base? A couple of options here for LucifroN, but he's opening up this...
The Thor is on the way, guys. If anybody can execute a Thor rush, it's going to be LucifroN. He's already done it against Terrans in this tournament. Will he be able to break the impenetrable 4GG here in game number 1?
All right, 4GG's reactions has to be fast. He needs to get up there to repair this immediately.
He needs to save it.
He needs to repair the wall.
Oh, he needs to save it. The Hellbats are going to try and drop here, trying to kill off some of these Marines as well, but the bunker does end up going down. He doesn't really have that many units left over. He has 2 Marines, 2 Hellbats to protect against this. He's going to try and block everything off of this ramp and try and continue power under pressure. 24 army supply to 14.
All right, and he's got another Thor in the way here, Claris. Let's see if 4GG can hold on to this. 4GG's the expert in Terran versus Terran. Remember, 94 win percent. Is he going to be able to hold on to that?
This is going to be so down to the wire. The SCVs come off the line again. There's no more SCVs from Structural Repair. A great move here by 4GG, trying to hold this off. He's killed off a lot of the Marines. The Thor is still staying alive, though, still sturdy. He's killed off 14 workers during all of this.
Pick up the Thor. Oh, he picks up the Thor. And there's another Thor to back this off. If he can get a couple more SCVs, I don't know how many he's actually got left at home here. And he repairs that with another. with another Thor coming in, but excellent control here from ForGG. Did you see him mineral trick through the ramp to surround the Marines there?
So important, but now the second Thor is on the way for LucifroN, trying to pile on the pressure. There's the SCVs. Once again, he needs to keep this Thor alive. He needs to repair, but he's going to poke with the first Thor here to try and do some damage and try and bait out some more deaths.
Oh, we see a Viking in the production tab. A Viking will shut down the medivac and will shut down the micro. A second medivac's there, though.
Oh, he's supply blocked. He's supply blocked him. ForGG needs to be... He's not got another supply depot on the way.
And look at that.
Drop.
ForGG says, I can spare this. I can spare one medivac and I will get to his SCV line, and LucifroN will have no money to repair, no money to do anything. A very intense moment at this point as LucifroN walks up with 2 Thors. A third one is on the way.
The question is, can he spare it? Does he have enough defense to deal with 2 Thors?
He believes so, but we're about to find out if he can.
He's laying waste now.
Supply blocked.
He's getting 2 supply depots out as well. That factory is going to go down. He can't bring SCVs to repair that. They're going to get assaulted by the Thor if he does.
All right, LucifroN's got 2 Thors at full health at the moment, and I don't think he can. ForGG can hold this.
That drops on the way into the main though. Here, how much damage can he actually do?
LucifroN says, "Screw! I don't need money. I don't need money. I got 3 Thors, Kalaris. I don't need money. I might as well send the SCVs to attack as well."
3 Thors along with all of this. The starport does go down, and now the SCVs are all that really lies between now ForGG and complete victory here. He kills off a few of the Marines as well with those Hellbats. They actually work out quite nicely. He needs to pick up that Thor. He does pick it up. He picks up both of them. Tries to speed on out of their worker counts though. 18 have been killed to 20.
Remember, there's no more healing because it takes minerals to repair at this point. So these Thors, that's it. So LucifroN currently at 46 supply to 37. He's bringing more SCVs. These are going to be attacking the third Thor. Get over that Thor. You want to win this game. You want to go help your brothers.
Oh, the factory goes down. He needs to pick up that Thor once again, though. He's repaired actually really nicely.
He's landed mules back at home, and there's nothing to actually stop that mule from mining, and another SCV, so he's managed to actually repair that Thor here.
So much firepower here from LucifroN. Where's the third Thor? There it is. The production facilities of ForGG fall. This last factory is all that remains here for him to make this work out. ForGG is trying to scramble. He's trying to find the decision-making possible to deal with this. He actually goes straight in here. He drops on a few of these units, but these 3 Thors with so much damage are going to wreck this composition here of ForGG. 20 supply against 47. LucifroN says, TVT ain't nothing.
Ain't nothing. 94%, whatever.
GG.
Whatever, Kalaris. 94%, shove your stats. Shove it.
Yeah.
And LucifroN continues undefeated in this tournament now. Is 9-0 against the best players in WCS Europe Premier League. And he continues that roll.
Chilling here rocks.
Wow, what an explosive start here for LucifroN.
Wow.
And he's got some big balls to be able to do that in game number 1 against ForGG. Let's say that.
Just a bit. That was a crazy first game to open things up here. And what a way to open things up in this best of 5 TVT, a matchup where ForGG is, let's face it, he is a god in this matchup. And now LucifroN, he's saying, well, gods can fall.
Well, you got to also, look at the 2 strategies. LucifroN just didn't want ForGG to get into rhythm of things in this first map.
Yeah.
Is LucifroN going to be able to stop that rhythm from happening every single game? Is he going to stop ForGG from getting into where he wins? I don't think so. I don't think we're going to see that again now. It would be, even though I say that, I'm pretty sure you and Todd in the round of 32 said, yeah, he's probably not going to Thor drop again. And then what did we see? A Thor drop anyway. So it is difficult to predict if he would try to do something like that again. But he had the perfect setup. It really did fall in his favor this game by going 1 barracks command center. All your tools that you need to defend are much later because you didn't take the gas earlier. And we did look at that, LucifroN's SCV like, oh, he didn't scout the natural. What is he doing?
Just goes home.
How ignorant were we thinking that LucifroN would skip something as important as that? He just got out there to build his factory on time.
And actually, we've been hyping up the numbers here for ForGG and saying that he's very impressive in this matchup. But if you look at LucifroN's statistics, he's currently like 78-80% win ratio in this matchup as well, with 21 victories and 6 losses in Heart of the Swarm. That was before the round of 16, though. So LucifroN himself is also a monster in this matchup. This is the 2 best TVTs residing in Europe right now facing one another.
LucifroN, in his entire RTS career, real-time strategy career, has been one of the most talented individuals to ever touch a game. But has always been hindered by lack of time and practice because of study. Until just a couple of months ago, he's dedicating full time to playing a game. He's now 9-0 in WCS Premier League.
9-0. Will he make it 10? Will he make it 11 if he takes out ForGG here? 3-0. We shall see, as it's now ForGG versus LucifroN. Game number 2. Newkirk Precinct is our map, as we have spawning down to the bottom right as our red Terran. Arguably the strongest TVT of all time here in Heart of the Swarm. Give it up for ForGG.
ForGG mentioned he was nervous versus TLO. You think he's nervous now? I think so.
Yeah, just a bit. And he's going up against this guy once again, spawning down to the bottom left, as our blue Terran deciding that Thor Rush is a pretty good tactic here in TVT. Give it up for LucifroN.
All right. Let's see what happens in this game. We have to, just always keep that at the back of your mind. ForGG was never allowed to play his own game.
Yeah.
He was always on the back foot from the get-go there. So let's see what happens when LucifroN has to play against ForGG when he's ready to go, ready to fight with what he knows best to beat LucifroN. And both of these players know each other inside out. That's what makes those kind of moves so intelligent to pull off from LucifroN.
It really does. And to that point that you make there, both players know that either one is well versed in the Hellbat drops. In TVT, it's something that is a given nowadays. You have to be so impressive with it. And LucifroN mixing things up. He's crazy.
From one extreme to the other, Claris.
Wow.
4-drop into a command center first. This time, it's going to be LucifroN on the back foot and ForGG being the aggressor. He got his gas early this time. He's not messing around at all here as he takes it at quite a fast speed too. Usually you see if a player wants to sit back a little bit, it's about 15 gas. They want to be the aggressor and get in your opponent's face. It's like 13 gas, and that's what this was.
And if ForGG here, well, he's got options available to him. He's going to try and get up to that gas as quickly as he can do, start that marine production and get that factory out as quickly as he can. And as you said, he's going to be the aggressor. He's going to be the one that tries to put on the pressure here. LucifroN has to be well defended across a bigger area than he would normally be used to.
What makes ForGG special when I watch him as a StarCraft player is he's very good with macro. As we've seen in his long games, being able to compete with the best of the best. He's also very good at micro, as just displayed.
Yeah.
But he's so intelligent. He approaches the game in a different way. He's so methodical with his thought process. He said in the pre-game interview, he watches a lot of StarCraft. He knows how everybody plays, and he just creates the best strategy, and combined it with all those things I mentioned before, is an incredible player.
Yeah, one only needs to look back to the round of 16 where he was playing against Straylock, where Straylock on Akalon Waste was containing him really well, but all the while behind that, ForGG's like, well, my macro's just going to be really, really strong off the back of this, and I'm just going to actually come and kill you once I get break out that contain. Only people like ForGG are really able to pull that off.
Double gas is down here. The two options is Hellbat drop for ForGG or Cloak Banshee. Those are the two options he can go for at this point. Actually, I could throw a third in. It could be Widowmine drop, but not as much as the other two. As there's the Tech Lab coming down. So it looks like it is going to be a Banshee play opening from ForGG. On the other hand, though, with a command center first, and remember, neither of these players have scouted in this game, so they are completely oblivious to what each other are doing. LucifroN is going for a pretty fast factor of his own behind this. Depending on when he scans, which actually should be soon. Let me tell you how soon. It's going to be in the next 40 energy or 30 energy. So in around 30, 40 seconds. So when this comes down, he'll scan the middle and look for both gases. If he sees double gases, he's absolutely going over for Viking, Marines, Hellions, because the two options, as illustrated before, is Hellbat drops he can deal with, and also a Banshee if he gets a Viking out.
And with that cloak going down now, it is indeed the committal to that Banshee here for ForGG. Meanwhile, the Armory and Starport have started up as well for LucifroN, so he's playing out a very, very standard build here right now is LucifroN. But he's going to have to account for the aggression that's going to come here from ForGG. You got to remember, though, guys, that ForGG right now does not have that second command center started just yet. He's going to start it in a second, I think. But
LucifroN has energy to scan. He has two sets of energy to scan. One right and bang in the middle. There it is. Sees double gases, doesn't see anything else. At this point, I'd be starting to get a little bit worried. He has an engineering bay already down.
Yeah.
The Hellbats is the annoying thing here. I wonder if he goes for Hellbats. Ooh. The Viking is good. That's good. Hellbats is interesting because it's not going to be useful against the Banshee, of course.
And the thing is that LucifroN just sent in a scout to the natural and only saw a few Marines, the expansion started, and a barracks at the front, nothing else. So
look at these 3 turrets.
I think now he knows just exactly what's going on. He knows that the positioning of the buildings and the tech must be over at that left-hand side, and it must be some kind of airplay.
Yeah, he's guessing right here, Claris. He's getting the turrets in the right positions. Granted, they're good against Medivacs too, but he's not building anything for Hellbat drop. This is completely shut down here. You shouldn't really lose any SCVs, maybe a couple here and there. But in general, with the Vikings coming out, Cloak is useless. There's range everywhere.
Oh, he almost flew into that missile turret. It was very, very interestingly placed there by LucifroN.
Perfect. 10 SCV lead. I don't really expect any SCVs to go down. Perfect. This is...
The reads have been amazing. Considering that he actually never spotted these buildings and just saw everything else, the scan goes down by Banshee.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. I can't believe what we're watching here.
Yeah.
Command center first, perfect scan timing, perfect read on his opponent, and now he's even going to go drop Hellbats. What can't LucifroN do at the moment? And he's going to get into the mineral line. There's no Viking of his... Okay, sorry. Excuse me. There's one about to pop out. But still, he can boost past it, but there are quite a few Hellions and Marines. ForGG on the back foot a little bit here, for sure.
ForGG is going to probably shut down this aggression, but then from that point on, he is behind in terms of the income. Unequivocally, that's just a given here right now, because LucifroN has shut down everything. He lost 1 SCV, and that was a scouting SCV, so LucifroN boosts on him.
Don't know if he's going to get much done here. SCVs need to just make sure they're okay. Okay, this is easily defended.
Yeah.
Okay, nicely done, ForGG. And LucifroN, I mean, he did bring down his lead a little bit because of that. That's quite a bit of resources lost, 2 Hellbats and a Medivac, but he's still in great position with a 3rd command center coming down and armory down as well. The big question is, though, ForGG's army supply is pretty damn big. 33 to 20. There is a complete wall, though, which will absolutely have to be repaired if anything was to come.
And the thing is, for ForGG, when he has those army supply leads, he knows when to go.
Yep.
He really knows when to go, guys. We've seen it.
And that time is now,
again.
by the looks of it.
Whoa.
And that's a lot of Hellions. I mean, I mentioned it before, he loves Hellions. He really does. He's got 3 factories pumping out Hellions at this point. He's got no upgrades. He's got no tech labs on his barracks, just making units. But I don't think this wall can be broken. It's got 3 Vikings, which are better than 2 Vikings and a Banshee naturally here. There's Hellbats behind the wall, of course can repair too. Oh, the wall is down.
The thing is, for ForGG, he actually has to do damage here, because if he doesn't, there's a Hellbat drop poised and ready to go. Why are those units out there? LucifroN is now asking. 3
Vikings versus 2 Vikings and a Banshee, so he's going to win this. The Vikings have to land. One gets picked off already, but here comes the rush. If SCVs are pulled to repair the bunker, remember, splash damage will kill them too.
Yeah, that is a lot of damage that could actually occur here. ForGG knows that as well. He's going to drop some of those Hellbats right on top of those Hellions, trying to deal with this. That's a lot of Hellbats he has, but meanwhile, the Hellbats in the natural also doing the damage that they want to do. He's trying to drop them, trying to get the good surface area, but that's too many Hellions here from ForGG.
How does he do it every single time? So many SCVs have been killed here, and ForGG breaks through once again. There is a drop, of course, on the natural, so LucifroN's focusing very heavily on defending.
Oh, it's going to be so close. Those Hellbats also trying to breach the main here. Do get a few of the SCVs, but at the same time, LucifroN taking a lot of damage back at the natural as well. He hardly has any units to really clean this up. He has 1 Hellbat left on the map. ForGG camping that position right now is in an amazing spot.
LucifroN still has more SCVs, but that takes away from his actual army value, so when you look at the supplies, just remember that. But Hellbats are coming down once again. Great hits there by ForGG, and they are getting healed, but likewise, LucifroN pushes this back. What an incredibly close fight.
He needs to wall that off again. He absolutely needs to wall that off again to try and stop this. But at the same time, when he tries to, the Hellions would just come along and roast it up again.
LucifroN's panicking here. He has so many units queued up on one single factory. And ForGG, with his use of Hellions, is breaking through here, Claris.
Very impressive game number 2 here. ForGG makes Hellions work like no other player in TBT. You think it's all about the Hellbats? Not according to ForGG. He shuts this down, and right now, LucifroN, he can't do anything.
It's 13 Hellions versus 2 Hellbats. ForGG's just making this work. There is a Thor on the way here. LucifroN's going to lose a lot of SCVs. There's no attacking units for LucifroN on the other side of the map, so he's going to have to give this natural up if he wants to stay in this game. But a Thor will eventually help push this back, but it's quite far away.
Yeah, this is going to be really, really hard for him to get out. If he did get a Thor out, it would be fantastic to actually hold off these Hellions. Hellions just do not kill Thors quickly enough to really fully deal with it. But that being said, that's still a lot of Hellions. 72 supply right now to 55, plus 2 weapons on the way for LucifroN.
Yeah, LucifroN still has the SCV lead and 3 command centers, but it's 46 army supply compared to 18 at this point.
One Thor's going to pop out in just a second. Will he be able to do a whole lot? He's popping out right next to these Hellions. Whoa, kept steady on. Whoa, and that wall as well. Oh, LucifroN.
Oh my gosh.
He actually might be able to hold on here. He's killing off all the Hellions. And wait a minute. It's 35 workers to 24 in favor of LucifroN here.
Remember the Thors and Hellbats all have +1 as well. And they just run everything into a wall.
And they're going to have +2 soon. Is this really happening?
This, I told you this series would be good, Claris. I told you.
Yeah, thanks.
I told you. You didn't believe me. I told you it'd be good. I told you it'd be good, Claris. But right now, ForGG, who hadn't gotten any upgrades, who looked like he was about to pick up the win there. It really was that close with that Thor popping out. As you said, great versus these Hellions.
It's as if that was pretty much an all-in here from ForGG. But that being said, that's a lot of Hellions once again.
But the problem is there's 2 tech labs now coming down for LucifroN on those 2 factories, or at least they are down and working now. He's pumping out a lot of units. You can see 2 tanks, 2 Hellbats, 2 more factories, because he's able to recover. So despite losing SCVs, even though he was never behind in SCVs, it's straight back up there. You can see he's mining great. The 34 workers were killed, but he managed to hang on just about. But LucifroN, you know, was incredibly fortunate that those Hellions ran in to that wall.
What an amazing game 2 here so far. I mean, LucifroN's still trying to pile on the pressure, not getting too much done. ForGG is always very resilient. The 20 Hellions run into one Thor and say, nah, maybe not. We'll actually have to run away from that one Thor.
And I mean, the game is swinging from left to right to who's in the lead to who isn't. And at this point, LucifroN has a commanding lead. The 3rd command center for ForGG only just now coming down. He doesn't have the gases on the natural. He doesn't have upgrades at all at this point. And what we're going to see from LucifroN, depending on how calm he is he can either go and attack and maybe risk his lead, or he sits down, takes his 3rd base, gets +3, takes the gases, and just adds on more factories and plays the game out.
And from that, let's just look at this. ForGG, TVT Master, most of the time when he goes for that kind of strat, he kills his opponent there and then. We know that for a fact. It just kills them. But LucifroN holding on now. How does ForGG play out? This is getting Blue Flame Hellions, but that's only really going to deal with the Hellbats, which aren't that numerous in comparison to siege tanks that are going to wreck this army.
LucifroN scans the natural and sees all these Hellions.
Yeah.
And as long as he has the wall at the front, and that's a tank and Thor wall, then he's great. It's not being broken. And he's got Vikings and continuing to keep up production, so he's going to control the air as well. So this not only powers LucifroN to defend in the front, but also the back, and even prevents any kind of airplay whatsoever, can even use air of his own after taking the 4th base and so on. He's upgrading plating now instead of +3 attack. I'm pretty sure that eventually LucifroN, depending on how long he plays this out, will take his 4th base and we'll just add starports and control the game from this point.
And plating's a great option against someone who's going pretty much full Hellion production. That damage isn't really that monumental in its scale, so that was funny. That SCV saw red flame and then saw blue flame.
Yeah, and then he saw the end of his life.
Yeah, poor little guy. But that's a lot of Hellions now powering out across this position. But
well, look at this army. This army. It isn't being touched anytime soon. These Hellions can come in and kill off a unit or 2, maybe. But overall, when an attack comes from LucifroN, they're all going to die.
Yeah. That army is so strong here. LucifroN's income is massive right now, or it was just before, in comparison to ForGG's. And with this march out across the map, with him loading up a few Hellbats into those medevacs as well.
Such a perfect scan, expecting the run by, so he scans where the run by would be and then continues walking on anyway.
Wow.
Incredible play there by LucifroN. But here comes the death march, which can't be stopped.
No.
It's Hellions against everything.
And he even leaves a few siege tanks back at home just to make sure that his opponent isn't really going to do too much. He drops those Hellbats in front here to try and soak up a lot of this damage. Marching on forwards, not even bothering with siege mode at this point because he knows that the damage is too significant from those siege tanks. Now moving on forwards, lands all his Vikings as well. And there you go, GG for game number 2. LucifroN, he still hasn't dropped a map.
10-0. 10-0 in the WCS Premier League. Wow. Incredible game from LucifroN. The opening was great. Great mindset to pick that opening against an opponent after doing what he did in game 1. His defense against the Banshee, perfect and crisp. Was an awkward place with that timing from ForGG, and it did hurt him, but to hold on, to stay in the game, to keep it going.
What? I'm sort of speechless at some points. Shouldn't be as a commentator, but just the way in which LucifroN is playing right now, he looks like a champion. He looks like a champion here, and ForGG has now got to step up things. If there's anybody in Terran versus Terran that can do, it's ForGG. He's now taken these 2 losses. Currently in Heart of the Swarm, I think he's pretty much 3 losses to 0 wins against LucifroN. And He needs to change that right now, otherwise he is out.
Yeah, it looks like ForGG is weak to Spanish kryptonite here, Kalaris.
The Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah, that's what this guy is. As we get ready for map number 3, it is going to be on Whirlwind, which usually is a little bit less of an aggressive map, a lot bigger, more difficult to get run-bys in and so on, but we'll see how both these players are going to open it up considering what they've done so far. LucifroN ranging from super aggression to command center first, changing his place up, very unpredictable, very difficult to play against for ForGG. Very much so. Now as we get loaded up into game number 3, will LucifroN retain his lossless streak here and go 11-0, or will ForGG pull it back and show us the TVT menace he is here in the European scene? We shall see on game number 3. Whirlwind is our map. LucifroN versus ForGG. As we have spawning up to the top right as our Red Terran once again, 2 games down, on the verge of falling down to that 5th place bracket. Give it up for ForGG. Spawning up to the top left as our Blue Terran, 1 win away from moving on to the semi-finals. Give it up for LucifroN. A clear fan favorite. LucifroN finishing in 3rd place in the Europe finals last year. Fell to his brother, I think. Fell to his brother. And then Stefano, of course, was the champion. LucifroN the contender this year, for sure. Oh, yeah. And, of course, Stefano will be playing next for you guys that are on the stream at the moment. Stefano will go up against Baby Knight after this series is completed. But for now, let's see how ForGG and LucifroN go. LucifroN leading 2-0 in this best of 5. 1 game away. Match point to ace everything so far. Yeah. TVT, since From Wings of Liberty to Heart of the Swarm, has, in my mind at least, become extremely, extremely entertaining. And when you peg up someone like ForGG against LucifroN here, it makes for such an explosive series. I'm sincerely hoping that actually ForGG can pull things back and we can see more of these games, because this is the pinnacle of TVT right now. This is crazy stuff. Whoa, wait a minute. What are you doing? Is he going back to map number 1, as in strategy from map number 1? I don't know what he's doing at the moment. He's got a 12 barracks and 13 gas. Just double scout to find out what's going on, I guess? Sure, if he's looking for potential proxies, but I think the importance of double scouting is more so to find exactly where his opponent is on such a big map. I think that he'd want to try and proxy something here. Yeah. Like, he's going to go up, and let's have a look where that other SUV goes. Does it immediately turn around and start to go towards the direction of his opponent's base? No, he's... Well, let's just Why is he going now? Okay, so he's turned around immediately. Now, where does this SUV go? Is he content with just finding out that it's a 1 barracks command center here? Has he got other plans? He's about to approach 100 gas at this point. What are you doing, LucifroN? Reading him is pretty difficult sometimes. But okay, it looks like he's just... Yeah. Well, the factory is about to be built at home, so okay, he just wanted to find out exactly what his opponent was doing there. Interesting. Yeah, with that, now ForGG gets himself his command center up and running in just a bit. Double gas taken behind that, though, so he wants to power out his tech. He knows he needs access to that tech as quickly as he possibly can do off the back of that command center. LucifroN's seen 1 barracks command center. Look at that direction. Look on the minimap. Look at the direction of the second SCV. It wasn't going. Why is it south? Yeah. Like, that's not where a player's going to expand. If he wants a double scout, then obviously he's going to go... I think what he wanted to do was scout top right. If he wasn't top right, then I think he was going to proxy at the south. Cross position. But because they're close by air here, I think we may see a Thor rush again, but from inside his base. You could be right. Apollo? Clap, 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 my friend. Full rush from inside his base. So what he's going to rely on is just using the close distance. He's also seen, on top of everything, it was a 1 barracks command center. Yeah. We're going to see an identical build to map number 1 here. And, I mean, to that point, he could have... If it wasn't those close by airs, you are saying basically he would have done it down at the very bottom. Yeah. So if it was at the 6 o'clock position, he would have had equal distance between the 2 other bases his opponent could have spawned in, because you can spawn on any position on this map. But seeing his opponent was top right, no need to proxy it now. Just do it from home. It's not too far of a difference in terms of travel here, but let's see how well this is going to go down. Imagine if LucifroN 3-0s a player with 94% before this series in TVT. I mean, what do you do? How do you stop LucifroN? How do you stop LucifroN? He is just on a roll here. If this works out right here, right now, and ForGG goes down, he's getting his own armory as well as Starport, so he's going to go to Hellions again, or Hellbats even. And ForGG, so whenever a player is what I want to say here is when a player is behind it and nervous and off his game a little bit, they fall into their weakness tendencies.
Yeah.
Which is for ForGG, and it's known widely from all the pro players, he doesn't scout. And
Yeah,
he's
that's
done
true,
it again.
that's
He
true.
hasn't scouted. He's got no idea whatsoever in this game. And it's going to hit him blindly. He's scouting with a Hellion to the bottom right, and then he'll go to the bottom left. And by the time he gets to the top left, choo-choo, SCV's already rolling.
Yeah, and that's Thor has been picked up now. The Marines
So no
are on
idea.
the way.
Look at this. He's got absolutely
No
no
idea.
idea.
And even in TVZ, 4GG is just known not to do this. Nerdjoe is a fine example of this. He exploited 4GG to no end with early attacks and stuff like that. So 4GG is going to be running up against a very, very strong composition. Once again, the Thor is so much damage to deal with. And 4GG is investing into upgrades. He needs to do something. And missile turrets.
Oh, the Medivac was spotted, so is Thor. Here we go. So we are going to have a drop at the same time much earlier in this game.
But the Natural's architecture allows him to repair that bunker a lot quicker here. He has to lower the supply depots. It's going to
Is he going to get the full surround of the SCVs? Oh my god, 4GG's going to hold the bunker. He's going to have to pull down the SCVs, which he's doing very nicely, but a lot of Marines did go down in this attempt, and they're still falling.
Lowering those supply depots was so important. If he didn't have the full surface area of those few more SCVs to repair that, it would have been catastrophic. But now he's shutting down the economy a lot quicker here from LucifroN. A great play by 4GG, but the aggression is not subsided.
I remember that because he didn't proxy it, the Thor has to walk a long way, the second one that is. He will not have money for a third Thor in this game. Already? Oh, actually, sorry, there is a third Thor then, is it? Okay, no, it is two, sorry. It is two, it's two. So here comes the initial one, the other one's back at home. Let's have a look at the surround here by you get these SCVs.
Oh, another great mineral walk here. He's doing a lot of damage to that Thor. Will he be able to kill them off in time,
4GG.
though? Oh, it's going to be so close. He actually picks it up, runs away once again.
4GG's holding this time. That surround, like you said, lowering the supply depots to come around and wrap around with the SCVs to keep it alive for longer was perfect.
Really was.
There's not much money left for LucifroN at this point.
And can two Thors here once again hold on, but the Viking is very pivotal here. He tries to speed away. He needs to stay away from that Viking as long as possible, and he needs to rendezvous with that second Thor. He needs the DPS, but it's so low.
Oh, 4GG just excellence in holding this. The Viking comes in, gets a couple of shots from the Thor, doesn't fall down though. That Medivac incredibly low, and 4GG's defending this. What a play, what a defense. The Thor goes down, and the second one will get eliminated very fast here. There's no SCVs repairing it. There's no Medivac to help him pick it up either.
GG. Oh, 4GG. What a great way to play out game number 3 there. Really adapting to his opponent, really making sure that he can position himself well. And again, it was... A lot of that was down to Whirlwind. The ability to bring your Marines, your SCVs off the line that quickly to that bunker. Much shorter distance than it was on Akelon Waste.
There's a couple of things that I think laid tribute to that. Was the fact that the biggest point was that the SCVs load the supply. 4GG lowered the supply depots, then got the surround with the SCVs. First of all, that's great. But also, I think a second thing to look at was the Medivac was revealed before the Thor was even revealed. A split second to give 4GG the opportunity to pull his SCVs faster. Because if you look in the other game, there was absolutely no way that that bunker was ever going to survive on Akelon Waste. It was there way too fast. The reaction time wasn't there. But I think that LucifroN showed his Medivac just a pixel more than he should have. It was in vision for 4GG, and he was able to swing in there just in the nick of time. What a great defense. Incredible, actually.
A great defense, a great series thus far, but now we have to go to a short break, and then when we're back, we'll have game number 4 between LucifroN and 4GG. Welcome back, guys, to the World Championship Series Europe Season 1 finals here, as we have currently LucifroN standing at 2 wins to 1 loss here against ForGG, and that means LucifroN has lost his first game in
He's
WCS.
lost the first game of the entire tournament so far in the 3rd quarterfinal here of the day, and we're about to see how this story continues as we jump into map number 4 between these 2 players. It's going to be a good one for sure.
Yeah, it's already been an amazing series. Will game 4 disappoint? I don't think so, as we now have spawning down to the bottom left as our red Terran. Ladies and gents, give it up for ForGG. And spawning up to the top right as our blue Terran representing Spain once again. Give it up for Caronte LucifroN.
So what we're seeing is a big difference between passive players and aggressive players. If we were watching a Terran versus Terran with 2 very defensive players,
Yep.
not gonna lie, it'd probably be boring.
Yeah, maybe.
But this series is exciting because both of them are aggressive. They love to be doing the aggression, getting in there with the drops and banshees and you name it, which is why this is incredibly fun to watch. If I'm gonna take a wild card guess, I reckon both players will take a pretty fast-ish gas. Because I think at this stage of the series, it's becoming a little bit too late to take gambles, I feel, because it's match point still for LucifroN. If he wins and ForGG messes up, then it's over. So I think that ForGG would do that, and I also think LucifroN would want to protect his lead to a certain extent. So gas number 1 coming down, let's see if ForGG takes one, but that wildcard guess, wildcard.
Yeah, definitely. This has to be very, very important for both of these players right now. ForGG does not want to go out at this point. He's rallying over to his gas, so we do have that on the way in just a little bit slower than LucifroN, but in the end, we'll see what this can occur. In the end, though, with TVT and the fact that it is so aggressive and aggressive and aggressive, if you're playing the defensive player, it's easier to kind of slip up with your defense against people like LucifroN and ForGG. So all of the aggression, in essence, becomes defense in the end.
Unfortunately for LucifroN, he won't be able to really see what's going on, even though he can suspect the gas being taken, because I'm pretty sure that both players are probably thinking along the similar lines to what I was saying just now. But it is very difficult to say, all right, he's took a gas, because you can't make assumptions like that in StarCraft. If you do, you're dead. Because, you know, the time they don't do what you're expecting them to do, you're not ready for it. So both of them playing blind as ForGG once again, not scouting again. Again, kept saying again.
Well, he never scouts, so a lot of agains is pretty apt here. ForGG just plays his own game. He likes to just do what he wants behind this. He doesn't care what you're up to as long as he can easily fend that off. He will scout eventually with maybe a few units, but that's very late into the game. Double Marine and that SCV now moving out.
Yeah, Double Marine and SCV this is a play which is used to capitalize on what ForGG does over and over. So I think that LucifroN is making that assumption a little bit, to a certain extent. Just gonna poke up, because an SCV and 2 Marines beats 2 Marines on the low ground. But since they're on the high ground, he'll be fine in this position. But it's just testing the water a little bit here. Because if they were down there, he'd win. Or at least do damage. May not win the game, but win that scenario.
Yep, having a little look around.
And he gets to sacrifice the SCV-2 for a good scout.
To see the factory?
Or didn't even sacrifice it, managed to survive, so... Yeah, and he got the factory too, which is kind of big. So now that he knows, has seen the factory and reactor, he knows exactly the gas timing. As a Terran player playing another Terran player, you know when you took your gas timing, and you can almost just look at your factory and be like, oh, mine's done, and building a tech lab, in this case. And then he can look at his opponents and be like, oh, it wasn't quite ready yet, which means the gas was later. You just compare.
And also, it could technically also mean that he has that command center down as well. Where else have your minerals actually gone to? So
exactly.
Good reads.
So a tank play is coming out here from LucifroN. There's a couple of ways that the tank play works in Terran versus Terran. The tank play is great defensively, but it also can flick over to aggression really fast.
Yeah.
Because if you have a couple of tanks and a couple of Vikings with a handful of Marines and a couple of SCVs, you're able to set up a slight contain. But the weakness of that is that you get dropped behind it, whether it be a Banshee play or whatever we see from ForGG here. So usually, like, I don't know, 8 times out of 10, this is defensive. And then the other times you do see him move out, but we'll see.
And I'm curious to see.
There it is, there's bunker.
Exactly. There was a game between Straylock and ForGG where he was also going for tanks and Vikings very quickly, was Straylock, to try and pin in ForGG. That was on Akalon Wastes. It didn't work out that well in the end because he just got ran over by his opponent's macro. Now, LucifroN obviously saw those games, and from this point on, he's just playing that defensive style.
I'm starting to get a spider sense saying that it's not defensive, and the reason for it is because ForGG, I mean, we talked about LucifroN knowing that his opponent has an expansion. Why would he be playing defensive? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I said it, and then I'm thinking about it again. I'm like, well, that doesn't really make sense. He hasn't got a command center. Why would he play defensive against protecting nothing? So the bunker tricked me a little bit, and it may trick ForGG depending on what he sees it with, because the bunker portrays a defensive setup.
Yeah.
But what happens if LucifroN moves out? What happens if LucifroN tries to set up this contain against a player who only has Hellions Marines?
And also, if you compare it to the situation from Straylock and ForGG, then this map, or everything being on the low ground, no ramp to defend your natural, makes it a lot easier for LucifroN to actually apply pressure here. And he wants to make sure he doesn't spot this lack of command center.
Yeah, well, he spotted all the Marines. He's got to spot SCVs too. So here's LucifroN's game plan. And it looks like ForGG's looking to meet and greet this. If he gets, these Marines,
they're also lined up. Oh, what a great volley there, killing off a lot of the Marines. The SCV's trying to come along with that as well, but that was a great trade there for ForGG.
Yeah.
Moving on back now with that defensive position.
But he only has Hellions and Marines at this point. He may have to sacrifice his natural, but then he gets contained. So he'll probably try and defend it. He does have a Banshee out on the way. Vikings are incredibly important at this stage, and LucifroN's winning that.
Ooh, he doesn't want to lose that Raven either. He has to throw down all
the
turrets,
tanks.
And, he's trying to get a good position here with those SCVs coming, try and help out these siege tanks. Even SCVs coming from ForGG. He knows he cannot get contained. And there you go, GG.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, says ForGG. Don't you try anything silly like that, young man.
Yeah.
You're playing against me. Just because you won a couple of games, don't think you're better than me.
Pretty much.
And ForGG ties this up, and we're going to game 5. But a very ballsy move. I think the barracks scouting it early helped out with the Hellions to move out too. But LucifroN, a bit risky there.
And now with everything on the line for both players, with one game left, where do people go in terms of builds?
It depends on the map. Honestly,
Belshire.
and it's Belshire Vestige.
Yeah.
Okay, so, all right. I'm going to make the ballsy prediction.
All right.
Hellbats.
Oh.
Super ballsy. I know.
Ballsy.
I know we may not see them, Clash. Don't hate me if we don't see them.
No? Oh, okay.
But I'm thinking Hellbats.
Yeah, well, I think I might have to go with that as well. Here on Belshire Vestige, it's worked out so well for both these guys in the past.
Yeah, look at LucifroN. He's very upset with that.
Yeah.
He just threw a game away, basically. So, all right. Let's take a closer look at what we just saw in that game.
Yeah, we can see the very last moments of that game here with a replay, as we also have the reactions of these players.
Yeah, let's look at LucifroN specifically.
Yeah. Let's see what's...
I mean, you got the full... Look, he's shaking his head immediately.
He's even talking to himself.
He's upset with that.
Yeah.
That was silly. You know, it relied a little bit on the fact that, as mentioned, that ForGG didn't see it. There was the bunker there to try and play mind games. The barracks floating across gave it away really, really early, and then the reaction was there. SCVs pulled off early before the siege tanks were even up. Contain was not even... You look, it's a contain. You know, it's looking to get outside the natural siege up and hold this position. Yeah. He never even got there.
No, he didn't.
And you saw the disappointment in his face.
We saw the emotion in both players' faces, in fact.
Yeah.
ForGG, after that win, with a sigh of relief here. This means a lot to both of these guys, and in TVT, it couldn't come any closer than a game number 5 between ForGG and LucifroN here on Belshire Vestige, as we have spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner as our Red Terran, bringing things back. Will he take the 3-2? Give it up for ForGG.
Incredible play. He's won 2 games in a row to draw this back up.
And spawning up to the top left, the winner of the first 2 games. Representing Spain, give it up for Caronte LucifroN.
In a best of 5, when you come to the last map, I believe in this circumstance, nobody tries anything.
Yeah, you have to.
We see a straight-up game, no risks. ForGG wasn't willing to take a risk in that previous game, played normal. LucifroN didn't work, and now it's tied up. So I'm thinking that the mindset of these players at this point in game number 5, remember the importance of this game number 5. It's not just a couple of $100 difference, it's twice the prize money. It's a guaranteed slot to go to Korea to play in a couple of weeks. And of course, the WCS points keep on climbing for the Grand Finals in BlizzCon at the end of the year. This is an incredibly, incredibly important game.
You're right. So important now. Barracks on the way.
Oh, LucifroN is taking he's taking a risk.
Yeah, he is.
He's saying, all right, I'm gonna try something a little bit risky. And he is gonna go command center first here. This is a risky play for sure.
It really is. He's sending out that SCV scout as quickly as he can do as well, just to see exactly what his opponent's doing. He's going to be greeted by a wall-off, I should think, here. and won't be able to see the gas timing of his opponent.
So, I mean, the mindset of both players usually at this circumstances, I don't want to, if I mess up, if I give this game away, Cloris, I'm not going to make it to the semi-finals. That's usually the mindset of the player.
Shaky stuff.
Unless LucifroN's like, shut up, you... I'm going to go Command Center first. So he's going Command Center first, and he will pop in there, and he sees no Reaper out yet, he sees no Marine. You can almost guess the gas timing based on the Marine timing.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, actually, if he pokes up again, that's a lie, because the Marine's always going to be the same time. I lied. He needs to check up again if the reactor comes down or not.
Yep.
Very shortly. So that's probably why he's left the SCV there. He'll poke up again to check the reactor timing, and then you can tell the gas timing.
Yep.
That's the truth.
We have LucifroN. Whoa, hello. He's going to sit around here, try and spot anything crazy that would occur. Maybe he'll poke up in just a second. Barracks is on the way behind this for LucifroN, just playing this out stably as he can do. He got his gas as well, and he's going to try and poke on up.
Yeah, he
ForGG
pokes
knows.
up. Yeah, he pokes up, sees the reactor, he's like, okay, you got 15 gas, and there's your CC. Okay, cool. And now returns back. In this game, because it's 15 gas and a command center which he's seen, he no longer needs to be threatened of Cloak Banshees.
Yep.
So that's not something that he doesn't need a Russian engineering bay down. Well, unless he wants to use turrets for medivacs, but I don't think he'll do that. I think he'll just go over to Hellions, Marines, and Vikings of his own here to prepare for what he knows most likely is coming for ForGG is a bit of aggression.
Along with things like Hellions, kind of annoying here for LucifroN to deal with if he wants to, but I mean, he should be able to, especially if he constructs himself a little bit of a wall here as well, which he already is starting with the bunker going down. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't have the advantage of a ramp after taking this base, but still, it should be okay.
You always have to be so careful when playing against ForGG if Hellions just come at you.
Yeah.
Because they do. You're sitting back, you're like, right, I guess he's doing his thing. And all of a sudden, 15 Hellions attack you, and you're like, whoa! Whoa, where do they come from? And ForGG is very particular with his timings. He always hits it really spot on. Gets you as you're weak. Always. He just, the innocence.
It was there in game 2, but LucifroN with a miracle hold-off in the end, with the decision-making of grabbing that Thor. Good architecture in his main as well in terms of positioning.
We're going to see Reactor Hellion and Banshee, a combination of both. A very strong combination over to mech eventually. This combination is very good, of course, because the Hellions can clean up Marines. If there's no bunker and there's no solid wall, the Hellions just come in and kill everything, and the Banshee behind supporting is very, very strong. It's not going to be with gas, though. I mean, not with Cloak, sorry. It'll just be without. It could also be... no, it should be Banshee.
Yep, should be.
Yep.
Should be. And with that, he's going to send his command center over to the natural as well.
Okay, it's a Viking.
Ah, okay. So he is a little bit worried about a bit more of an aggressive stance from his opponent.
So he won't be... I thought he'd be a bit more aggressive himself here, but it's going to be a Viking into a Raven, most likely, behind this. But nice wall off from LucifroN, as we can see.
Even the barracks in there as well.
Yeah. Super important to get that wall off, of course, against ForGG.
Interestingly enough, I think that might end up having LucifroN going to some kind of mech play.
Oh, yeah. I think both players will play mech.
Yeah.
You rarely see biological play anymore because mech is just so good. The Hellbats...
It's fantastic.
You know, and the thing is, the weakness of mech in the olden days was that the Hellions weren't that great, and now Hellbats are better, and also Medivacs are stronger for you to be doing damage to your opponent. And the old mech, you never, ever had the opportunity to kind of drop Hellions as much because the Medivacs couldn't get in there, but they absolutely can now.
And in the end, now that we look at this game, as it's unfolded in the first 7.5 minutes, very little aggression. Both players wanting to play a little bit more economically. Scan goes down, sees the Tech Lab on that starport, can prepare for anything. He has his engineering bay finish up, so LucifroN, he may end up throwing down a missile turret or two, but it's a bit after the time of a normal Banshee.
Yeah, I mean, he sees the Viking and probably knows that if he wanted a Banshee, it would have been in replacement of the Viking, and now should know that it's a Raven. So he shouldn't really put any turrets down, to be honest. I'm interested to see if LucifroN throws down a command center or not. That's something he did on Newkirk. But it's going to be... What is it? Yeah, command center. Okay. I thought it may be factories just to play a little bit safer, but... I guess he held any, aggression on Newkirk. He can do it here.
And this is the point where now LucifroN is going to be pretty much on the defensive.
Oh, he spots it. That would have been deadly if he didn't spot it, though.
Yeah, that really would have been. But the thing is though, now that ForGG, he's always the aggressor in TVT when it comes to mech. Even in Wings of Liberty, that was his style. So he adds on his production facilities before a third command center, and then when all of those Hellions come, it's up to LucifroN once again to try and hold on. Look how many Hellions he has out right now.
He has so many Hellions. I think it's just, I mean, it is very, very similar, if not identical, to Newkirk.
Yeah.
nuclear precedent, the map we saw just a while ago here. Unfortunately, a little bit supply blocked, having to call down a mule and, instead of a mule, sorry, the supply cooldown. But let's have a look at what LucifroN has to defend this time. Again, high Hellion count, very high Hellion count. Tank production or thought production, not quite there yet. And again, if ForGG moves out in the next 30-ish seconds, he's hitting the timing again, right before tanks, right before Thors.
Hellion Hellbat drop is on the way now. Will it be able to kill any workers? Gets quite a few of them. Gets 6 in total. Will end up being pushed away. Whoa.
How many did he get?
He got 9 in total. He's going for another drop as well in the natural, trying to shut his opponent down. And during all of that, it's now 54 workers to 32, Apollo.
So he killed SCVs and he's delaying his opponent a little bit, who now is moving out. Okay, this is the time and ForGG's going, and the scan reveals it again. He sees 3 factories, a lot of Hellions. Oh my gosh, a lot of Hellions. And look, the Thors, the tanks, the whatever from the tech labs are not coming out. Only just now. It's going to be an incredibly tight defense once again here by LucifroN, who immediately pulls off and immediately going to try and repair this. He needs to hold on. Remember, he has +1 behind it. He has 3 command centers. He can afford to lose SCVs. And a counter-attack at the same time by LucifroN. And another medevac on the right-hand side. This is incredible if he can hold this.
It really is, but at the same time, that bunker is going to go down very, very quickly here as the Hellions are going to kill off those SCVs behind it, and they do start going to work on them. Will take down that bunker regardless. A lot of SCVs have already died off. The wall is now penetrated. Will he actually be able to do the damage he needs to? He's going to drop all these Hellbats in as well. This is it. If he holds it now...
Siege up. Okay, there's the siege. LucifroN maybe able to hold this. It's going to be incredibly tight. Massive damage coming down. The supply depot raises as well. Is he going to be able to hold it here, Claris?
All the SCVs come off the line as well here. He just needs to buy himself some time. He knows he's doing a lot of damage back at home against his opponent, and he kills off so many Hellions.
So
They've all
close.
fallen down. It's 22 worker kills to 25 in favor of
ForGG is breaking him though. ForGG may be able to do this, coming back from behind in the series. Remember, ForGG was down 0-2. He's broken the line. 1 tank in there, 30 supply to 61. ForGG, what an incredible break. What a timing from this guy.
Just such good Hellion play here. Kills off another siege tank. He's going to clean up the Vikings in the end. And there's actually a few more Hellbats in the main trying to do some damage to ForGG.
8 SCVs for ForGG. 4 for LucifroN. Neither of them have an economy, but there's more mules for LucifroN. Yes, he's down in supply at this point, but he has good upgrades and he does have tanks back at home. Is he going to be able to crawl back? I don't know.
This is so down to the wire. One of the last medevacs ends up falling as well.
Oh, look at all these Hellions coming in. This is going to be it. This is going to be it. ForGG is going to make the comeback. The reverse kill.
He can't kill this off with the little firepower that LucifroN has. ForGG playing so well to come back against LucifroN. He kills off the remaining siege tank. He's being assaulted at his natural, and that command center is going to go down to Hellbats, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Look at that. ForGG pulls off the reverse kill. Incredible. Yes, he lost the first 2 games. Yes, he looked shaky, but what a man to win 3 games in a row against a player that came into this series undefeated.
GG, and ForGG marches on to the semi-final here at the WCS EU Finals. And once again, 100% win ratio in TVT in best of 3s and best of 5s.
Is able to maintain that. Absolutely incredible. ForGG is such a good player in Terran versus Terran, but I have to go over to LucifroN, who I believe is feeling pretty bad right now, especially considering that Neoplanet S game that pushed it into a deciding game. That was close. Between these 2 players, it's always going to be 50-50, but giving ForGG the chance to crawl back into this game, giving him Neoplanet S, almost gifting that game. You can see he's shaking his head. He's not happy about that at all. But no. ForGG, man. Whew.
Burning up some bunkers there. Nobody plays TVT like ForGG. Nobody says, I'm going to get 4 factories down really quickly, 1 with a reactor, 2 without, and just plow out a whole amount of Hellions. And dealing with that, with a bunker on wall off, you can't repair. Everything's just going to die behind it.
Yeah, I mean, they know each other so well, is that ForGG is able to create this specific timing that gets right in there, right before the main units to deal with it are there. It was absolutely fantastic. ForGG is just one of a kind when it comes to these timings.
Yeah, we can jump into a replay here as well, showing exactly what actually unfolded there. I'm under the impression it's going to be that very, very final moment.
Let's have a look at the GG moment here with LucifroN knowing he's defeated. I think he already knows it, but there's always the comeback possible, and there's the fallback and the sigh of relief. GG called, and ForGG jumping up there. Very happy, 2-0 behind to win 3 games to 2.
ForGG before the games respected his opponent, but always thought he was going to take it 3-0. It was a close one in the end, and I would love to hear his thoughts from Paul over at the interview desk.
Thanks very much, guys. Yes, with Millennium ForGG, victor of game number 3. Congratulations. Well played. I guess we call you the comeback king now because 2-0 down to 3-2. What was going through your mind when you had those 2 first game losses?
When I first match and then lose, I'm very bad because first and next all build all LucifroN, very good mind game, so I build lose. So I just mind control. This is first game, and now win.
So in game 4, you put up a really good defence, but there was, I almost feel bad saying this to you, but there was a bit of a mistake in game 2. Do you want to talk about that, the wall?
First game, I can defend, but when LucifroN total very small HP, I have to cut total, but he saved, so I lose.
Okay. And game 5, talk us through game 5. How did you win the game in the end?
Sorry?
How did you win game 5? What was it that turned the game for you?
I'm very happy. I'm round of 4 now, and I'm really happy because lose, win. First time, I'm very happy.
Okay, well, I'm going to leave you there. I'm going to give you this, though. ForGG, congratulations. You are off to Korea and to the end of season finals. We've got 3 of them. We need 4. Game 4 is coming up very shortly. But first, let's get some analysis with Todd.
Absolutely sick series here. LucifroN taking the 2-0 leads. ForGG coming back. We're going to be taking a look at the turning point of this series here, which I think was a very cute move by ForGG. He's about to lose this series 3-0 here. He has to hold. If he doesn't hold, he loses. He's eliminated from the tournament. So he's gonna start pulling SCVs to repair the bunker. And the bunker is so close to dying. Then he lowers his depot over there. He gets more surface area with all of his SCVs around the depot to be able to repair and make the sick hold, which will make him hold this in the end. LucifroN was very unfortunate with the way he scouted. I think Apollo explained this very well, but in the end, ForGG barely holding here. He's able to win this game. He gains the momentum, and he comes back with 3-2. That was the most important point in this game, in my opinion, and that's pretty much it for the analysis this time. I'm going to throw it to Paul over at the social media desk. Paul, take it away.
Thank you very much, Todd. Yes, some analysis there from game number 3. Game number 4 coming on its way very quickly. And continue with your tweets, please. #WCS. It's trending currently in Germany. A little bit of trending in the Philippines, oddly. Whatever you're doing out in the Philippines, keep doing it. That's fantastic. And also in Spain as well, obviously, because LucifroN was playing. So well done to the Spaniards for getting into #WCS. Don't forget, @StarCraft or /StarCraft on Facebook. And also ESL TV, @ESL TV or / on Facebook as well. We also have the tweet to show you for the last match. Keep your tweets coming in. Remember, the best tweet of the day will be picked out for 3 fantastic and unique prizes courtesy of Blizzard. So, we've still got 1 more game to go. The Hubner's still in control of social media. We'll be right back with our 4th and final game, Stefano versus Baby Knight.